Hey guys, welcome back, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton. It's Monday, it's beautiful out, it's freezing, and I'm loving it, and everybody's probably hating me right now. No, seriously, welcome everybody. Welcome to another edition of FaceTime with Todd Wharton. First and foremost, thank you to my virtual audience for always being here, checking me out, watching the show, having a great time, meeting some interesting guests, and getting to know them one-on-one. All right, so let's get to it. So in the news over the weekend, everybody's been seeing the buzz with the Oscars and the Grammys. We want to, first of all, say congratulations to all the nominees in the Grammys, and a special congratulations to Beyonce. Beyonce has become the highest Grammy female award winner of all time, which is pretty great. She actually just tied Quincy Jones, and she's not too far from #1. So Beyonce, congratulations. That's a pretty amazing milestone. And then if you guys have been watching, today on GMA, they were doing the announcement of the Oscar nominees by Nick Jonas and his wife, and they did a great job. And I want to send a special congratulations to all the nominees, especially in the director's field. Now, in the director's field, you had 2 female nominees this year, I believe. 2 or 3, which is pretty great because there's never been a winner of female in the director category, so congratulations to you ladies as well. And of course, I got to give a big shout out to Chadwick Boseman up in heaven. He's just got nominated for Oscar role, Leading Man, which is pretty cool, in Mon Raimi's Black Bottom. And then, of course, Andra Day. First ever acting role, and she won this, she's winning that, and now she just got nominated for leading actress in a role in a feature film in the United States versus Billie Holiday. Really excited for her. And of course, all the other nominees, and congratulations to Billie Eilish and everybody else in the Grammys. Just a great weekend, very diverse categories of people, and which is pretty amazing. So speaking of amazing, I got my great guest coming on. He's been a friend of mine, God knows, I think it's been about 10 years. But you know what? The best way to introduce this man, I'm going to have my boy Ryan Reynolds introduce him. So Ryan, take it away, brother.
Pretty good. I've always been amazed by street artists who can turn a regular old wall into a work of art, or at the very least, a regular old wall with it drawn on. An incredible street artist and mural specialist, Albertus Joseph, and he's going to teach me a thing or two.
So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Albertus Joseph to the show. Albertus, how you doing, man?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, what do you look tired? What are you sleeping?
No, why?
No, I'm just playing, man. I'm just always like wired out and everything.
Bright light over there, so I might shut it
off. Oh,
off.
yeah? Yeah, bright lights always make your eyes tired and stuff. So, Albertus, first of all, welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton, man. Appreciate you for being here.
Having me. Am I too close? Yeah, I could back this bitch up.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, there we go.
How's that?
Better?
Yeah, it's better. It's better. So, Albertus, first and foremost, man, I just played a little trailer here. I said it to you before, but I want to tell everybody, you know, really amazing thing happened. And I'm so proud of you, man. Ryan Reynolds hit you up, and he's like, hey, I want you to be on my show. Ryan doesn't know. And that was pretty cool, man, because Ryan Reynolds is definitely one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood from films. You know, I mean, he's gone down the list of all these amazing films, and you got to talk with him. How did that interview go? How did that happen?
You know what? I got contacted by, I think, one of his producers, and one of the producers of the program, and I asked them. I said, "Well, how'd you find out about me?" And they were like, "Your name came up in a meeting." So that's how it happened. And then I guess they showed him my work, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it was quick. It like happened in like days, you know.
Well, that's how lightning strikes, right? Like you're creating thunder throughout your whole career, and then one day lightning strikes, and then it goes from here to here. And that's why people call it an overnight success, which most overnight successes don't happen overnight. You know, the initial point on being discovered or just taking you to that next level happens to you like that, where it gets a little overwhelming too, right? Where you're doing your thing, you're on your path, and then out of nowhere, wham, takes you right up, which is kind of cool. And I watched the whole entire interview. If you guys don't know, I only showed a little clip, but if you want to watch that full interview with Albertus and Ryan Reynolds, you can definitely go to Albertus's page, Albertus Joseph, on Instagram. Very easy to find him. And then you can always watch Ryan Reynolds. He does that live from Snapchat, I believe. So definitely check that out. Check out Albertus's video. But we're going to get into this right now. So Albertus, I've known you for, I think I was saying for about 10 years now. Oh. And your art has always amazed me. You've been a part of a couple of my events. I've always been a huge supporter of yours. True. I just love when people's creativity is starting to be recognized on a scale that it deserves, because your scale of art is huge. Like, for example, what do you have going on right behind you right there? Because that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a big piece.
So what's that piece about?
It's probably 5 by 4 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
So what's the piece about?
It's called Naked 2.
Mm-hmm.
I did one called Naked already, and it's basically a female back of a woman,
right,
brandishing a what is that? That's an M60, I think, or M90, I think they're called now.
M90? There's something bigger than M60. I don't even know. Me and military. Yeah.
And it's just sort of a commentary about, you know, the state of affairs with the Second Amendment nuts, and I'm a Second Amendment guy. I mean, I like all the amendments. I'm just not gonna cherry pick one of my favorites. I'm not for losing any rights. We don't have as we should have, so I don't lose any. So, you know, but regulation is needed. So it's sort of I'm sort of talking about in this piece the juxtaposition between someone being appearing vulnerable, but yet not being vulnerable.
Okay.
You know, so it's not just political. It's also, you know, about societal pressures. It's sort of like a plate of lasagna. Just because you see a plate of lasagna doesn't mean you can just sit there.
You're talking on time, man. Start. Yeah. Come on, man. Start doing the analogies, because now you get me hungry at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's nuances to everything, but, you know, we really need to start learning to exhibit self-control, you know?
Right.
We got to not just teach our daughters, because I have 2 daughters, but we have to teach our sons the same thing, you know?
Of course, and I believe in that 100%. I mean, I don't have kids, but I do believe that even if you don't have a child, right, it's still your responsibility as an adult to teach, whether it's, you know, at the line at a coffee shop, you see a kid cut, and you're like, no, yeah, man, just stay back here. You know, it's those little things that make a big difference, and you don't have to be a personal parent to be a parent. No. And we have to teach our youth. We really do. Like they say it in all songs, but yeah, it's very, very important, especially this. It's, you know, it's crazy. I'm talking to you right now. My publicist is calling, knowing that I'm doing a live show. So obviously me and him are going to have a talk when I get done. Like, what kind of, you know what? That's what I'm saying. We're about to duke it out.
I got a perfect
for that. Anyway, let's backtrack a little. You know, one of the questions you probably, you know, heard a lot, and ain't nothing like talk to a naked woman. What you got there? I'm reading it backwards.
Oh, it says violent gentleman.
Violent gentleman? Oh my God. So let's talk about let's backtrack a little. Let's talk about your inspiration. When was the first time that you really picked up a paintbrush or a can or a marker, and when you started drawing, realizing that this is really something that I love to do?
At a very young age, extremely young age. I thought everybody did it, as a kid.
Right.
And
Keep talking. I'm right here. Keep talking.
when you're going to grade school, everybody does do it, and kindergarten and stuff like that. But my mom taught me how to draw, as the video outlines. My mom being my very first inspiration, very first tutelary, to throw out an S-E word there. But
S-E word?
Yeah, tutelary. You don't hear that.
No, I use that word all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when I go out and I go to pick up my clothes at the laundromat, I like to get a bagel and tutelary.
Yeah. I read a lot, so that's probably why I know these words. And I like words.
Okay, man. And what?
Symbolism. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So in terms of my first inspirations, it would have to be, growing up around strong, independent, can-do, no excuse women. My mother, my grandmothers, my aunts, my sister, all kick-ass women. Like, really, I didn't realize. I always thought as a young boy, all the way up into college, that women were a certain way. Like they were like the meat and potatoes of the family. I always thought because my father, was an interesting guy, and he ruled with an iron fist. But my mom and my aunts and my friends' moms, I mean, I don't know. I was just always around really strong, really able women. And it wasn't into college where I had my first culture shock. Like when I lived in South America, in Suriname, the older women, they were thought of like bosses. They called them this, which means aunt. So every older woman, as a young boy, you would call her aunt, even if you didn't know, and they would dress a certain way and they would hold themselves a certain way, and they got the respect of the community. So growing up and seeing that in also in New York, because I'm from Queens, but then my father's a diplomat, so we moved to Suriname for 4 years. So from like the age of 6 to the age of like 10, 11, I was a New Yorker living in the rainforest, Oh, I don't know if you ever seen that movie Mosquito Coast, but it was very similar, very close to that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure, but no, I'm getting the comparison now.
What's that?
No, I'm getting the idea what you're getting into. I haven't seen the movie yet, though.
Oh, it's old. It's an old movie. It's about a family, a guy who just gets tired of the rat race and moves his family out to the to the tropics, and that's basically what my father did. And then my father got famous and got into the political spectrum, and but my mom ran shit, and all the women in the neighborhood, they ran shit. If they saw you doing something, man, you were in big trouble.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, people don't understand the power of a woman. Like even though they say it's a man's world, at the end of the day, the woman ran the life of the family. I really don't care what anybody says. Like, I agree with you, man. My mother, I love her and I miss her to death. Women play a major, major role in the growth of the kids. And women are powerful.
Well, not just kids. We can't sell them short. They are, 2/3 of the population, They get paid in this country like between, 30% less, depending upon what ethnic background you have, up to 54% less than a white, their counterparts as a man, a white man. And for the same job, and it's just not right. It's just not right. It's just, a power grab and a money thing. And I'm sick of it. So and again, it's wrong. They're not stronger. We're all equal. We're all the same.
Correct.
And it's about time that we start recognizing that. And I have a point as an artist. I've noticed that whenever we're insulting each other, whenever men are insulting each other, an insult to a man is to be called a bitch or a pussy or whatever. And it's funny that it's actually not funny at all. What it is demeaning. Even if you're talking to a man, you're demeaning women by calling another man a female part or something that's derogatory about female. So all of a sudden, if you're a man, you can't have female energy. You see that? Right. So it's looked at negatively.
Right.
And in our common day, people do it all the time. I've been guilty of it, all my life. It's just something that I realized getting older that, we really have to watch the way we talk, not just dropping the N-word, but we also have to pay attention to our other half, that makes up the human race.
Facts.
And it's fucked up that in order for me to diss my friend who's my brother, I call him a bitch. And that's like the ultimate insult for a man to act like a woman. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you 100%. It's good that you're saying that.
It's so messed up. So anyway, leading into that, as an artist, I like to depict, or I look to depict, strong women. I like the positive roles that I see them in. I like to paint people I know. Yeah, sometimes I do famous people. I don't know them, except for Ryan.
Yeah. No. Wait, have you done one for Ryan yet? Has he asked you for one?
I've got one in the storage over there.
Really? So did he request one from you to be sent to him?
No.
You should send it. You should make one and send it to him as a gift saying, hey, thank you for being on a show. He'll probably love it.
You got to pay.
Well,
ain't nothing.
Damn, Hollywood.
Ain't nothing.
Damn, Hollywood.
I'm going to sit down behind this easel here. Hey, you know what's funny about this easel? The easel.
Wait, hold on. I think I see Deadpool behind you. You better duck. You coming at you, dog.
Yeah. This easel I took from the garbage when I was in college. They were throwing away old beat up easels, and I took pieces. I still have. That's my main thing. That's how old it is. From 1990.
It's crazy how we say 1990 is old. Like, I graduated high school in 92, and now I'm saying, back in 1992, I'm just like, ugh.
I don't even tell you what year I graduated.
I'm still trying to look like I'm 20. Yeah, I know you, dog. I mean, I know you remember the days where you had to make a phone call and a dinosaur would walk by. I get it.
I used to stick my finger in that little hole and
the rotary phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old enough. We had that in our living room, and we had the handheld roundish shaped ones that you had to touch.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm that old.
Man, if we can go through some of the old things that we've been through in our lives, people are going to be like, wait, what? You actually had to get up and turn on the TV? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
my friends and I, we talk about it all the time, you know.
it's hilarious. I mean, listen, the technology today is pretty amazing. Like right now, I'm able to talk to you
Long
like
cords,
right
yeah.
like this.
Amy wrote long cords. I remember sitting there, you know. Remember we used to spin the cords around when we're talking on the phone. You lay in bed talking
That's right.
phone.
And then when somebody's annoying you, you're just like, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What, Ma?
and, you know,
What?
your
Yeah,
face.
I gotta go. Click. It was so much easier to act like your phone was acting up to hang up on somebody because now when you do that, they'll text you. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, I can't get rid of you.
you know that's why I don't answer the phone. Sometimes I just don't answer any calls because I don't, you know, I put my phone on silent
Yeah,
and or airplane mode so I don't hear the you know, the buzz, because
yeah,
I'm in my own space, you know. And then the thing about cell phones is that it gives people access to you 24 hours a day.
right.
So, you know, when we were younger, you didn't drive with a phone. You used to race home to make a phone call, or you know,
Correct.
or go to the you know, the ones you used to put a dime in. Remember that one with a dime? You put a dime in there and make a phone call.
Yeah, when there were dimes, now I
I
think a
remember when it
call
was
is like
a dime, dude.
50 cents.
I remember
I can't even find a dime anymore.
I have 25-cent comic books. That's how
What?
fucking old I am. Yeah. Those are long.
Well,
That's like
well, it goes by quick, but
in
over
the
that
80s,
time,
they still 35 cents on the
I think so.
comic book?
No, I think they're more. I
No,
think you
in the
need to.
80s, it used to say still 35 cents. In the
Oh,
early,
really?
yeah, like a, you know, some of then they went to 35, 40, 40, 45, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy where pricing is. Everything has gone since back in the day because I think back then money actually had value to it. Today, I don't think there's really any money. There's value in money anymore. It's like, you know, you go buy a soda, it's like $2, $3, and it's like, yo, this is crazy.
I
Like,
don't think money was as readily available when we were younger.
right.
You know, we used to go to the candy shop. They don't even have candy shops anymore, do they? Remember penny candy?
Man, I used to
Remember
take you
you
to the
go
candy shop.
and grab candy out of the jar, and the guy used to count them out for you. Swedish fish were like 2 for $1.
Swedish fish. Oh my God, dude.
Boston baked beans, lemon heads, Mary
Wait,
Jane.
wait, is this an interview? You trying to get me to go on Weight Watchers? Like,
Yeah.
you're getting me hungry here. I'm like telling you, like, yo, shut up, Albertus. Like, I'm literally about to run out to the vending machine if you keep talking about the sugar. You know I'm trying to stay in shape, man. You're killing me right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could talk about healthy food too.
Nah, nah. Healthy
I could
food is
ask a
boring to
question.
talk about.
My Puerto Rican friends out there, why don't they like vegetables?
That's a good question. Why don't people like vegetables? But anyway, I mean, over that time, you've become an amazing artist, and you can tell by your experience and the way you draw, and the way you create things.
Mm-hmm.
And I really never knew that your inspiration behind most of your art is based on strong, powerful women. Now, I've seen you draw like Frida, I believe, drawing of her,
Oh yeah,
and I think it's right. And you're starting to do some others. Who's one woman that you would love to do a portrait of
but I haven't done.
that you haven't done?
Uh, there's actually a pretty long list. I would like to
Well,
do
it's not
Etta James.
okay.
I would like to do Pam Grier.
Wow, okay.
I would like to do um, Mama's Mabley.
Wow, okay.
Um, Shirley Chisholm.
Mm.
Uh, uh, What's the name of the? Like, wait, I'm forgetting. Elder Fitzgerald.
Oh man, yeah, you're naming
Lena
some
Horne.
iconic. Yeah, you're naming some iconic women. I mean, there's millions and millions of, and at the end of the day, I know there's a lot of women on here now. Honestly, every woman to me is a legend because women leave behind, for the most part, a great legacy that the world should definitely look up to. Because you said it, we should all be looked at as equals. All this persecution of genders, races, sexuality, young, old, rich, poor. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. And, we forget these rules were created by people from hundreds of years ago. And it's like, why the heck are we still living in that same mentality? Like, it doesn't even make sense. There are women that run billion-dollar corporations. You know what I'm saying? They're artists, they're chefs, they're actors, actresses, they're CEOs. But there's still people out there that have this mindset of minority thinking. And what I always tell people is, if that's the way you think, then guess what? You're the minority. That's the way you have to look at it. It's like if your thinking is, this is the way you see life, then maybe you should step back and take a good look at yourself, because this world is much better with all the nationalities and races and the ages and the women and men, because what makes this world so beautiful is the diversity and beauty and the uniqueness of each person that comes into our life. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the ills of the world are caused from lack of self, lack of knowledge of self, and the fact that we're not taught how to love ourselves first. Everybody looks for gratification outside of who they are and what they are. They, the nuance, the novelty of a thing passes in the blink of an eye. As soon as you take it home, it's used.
Correct.
Drive it off the lot, it's worth 2/3 or a third of what you paid for it. And the real power of the human beings is knowing who you are and what your purpose, finding your purpose, and understanding that we're part of a collective. That we.
Yeah, I do want to interrupt you and say thank you for really bringing these subjects up, because everybody knows my shows. We talk about everything, but a lot of people really don't get into these topics. I don't know if they're uncomfortable about it, but when I speak to Keon Harold, one of the things we always talked about was, and if you guys don't know, Keon is the father whose son got racially profiled for stealing a cell phone at the Ola Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, these are conversations that need to be spoken about more and more and more, because the minute the conversations stop is the more that the negative outlook on life is going to exceed. We need to keep talking about this, and it shouldn't be uncomfortable. It's about bringing light into negativity that has been brought to us from hundreds of years back that still exists today. So I just want to say that. Thank you for bringing this up. So continue what you were saying, sir.
Oh, okay. As an artist, as someone who I really pride myself on, where I do have pride is like paying attention, and watching and falling back and not, we're human beings, so we almost can't stop being judgmental. So as soon as you feel you're being judgmental,
right?
You have to reflect on yourself and see, like, to what degree does that person exhibit things that you do? And
correct.
More often than not, there's varying degrees. We all experience varying degrees of the same thing, with the exception of childbirth.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that.
You might not be a drug addict, but you understand it. If you've tried drugs, then you understand the draw. So it might be small degree, and then, you know, polar opposite of that is someone who's extremely addicted, you know?
Right.
It's still addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So really recognizing our faults within ourselves and finding peace with who we are sits at the where's my phone keep doing that? Sits at the precipice of becoming a better person, and then thus a better artist, and then thus a better husband, a better wife, a better person, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
A better CEO, a better talk show host. So the more you know, figure out who you are, the better you are. The better everybody is.
So let me ask you something. Since, like we were talking about, a lot of your inspiration, your are powerful women, right? Do you have anything that stands out in your painting, like a signature, that you put that reflects your style of art in every one of your paintings? Because everybody has a symbol, a motto, a uniqueness about what they do. Is there something that you put into your painting when you think about each thing that you do that makes yours unique?
I don't know about unique, because I think there's been, you know, hundreds of millions of billions of artists before me. I don't think there's anything that hasn't been done before or tried.
Right.
I don't think there's any real combination of things I could do stand out all unto itself. I think, like, if you you know, if I think about my own work, I would say it resembles, you know, there's a touch of this, a touch of that, a touch of this, a touch of that, and then I compile it and compose it, you know, so on and so forth. I think my phone's up. Anyway.
Now look.
So yeah, what was your question?
No, I was asking you, every artist has a little signature that they put into their painting that makes theirs unique.
So like, what do I do? Like, semiotically?
Yeah, exactly.
I love halos, or you always see circles behind the heads, because semiotically, it has this connection to spirituality and religion, and also about a heightened person. Like, you would think of, like, a saint would have a halo, or someone who's revered. And so I put it on normal people. I put it on, like, you know, like I did Angela Davis, and I put a halo around her, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so that's just a semiotical approach to, you know, like trying to dig a little deeper into, you know, how I feel about the subject matters, you know? So that's one thing. I do use guns a lot, because of their value that they have, both potential and kinetic, both offensive and defensive, and they're also striking. In today's world, with all these lunatics running around with them too, it also has a lot of weight to it. So yeah, I play around. I like flowers, and, you know, then, you know, flowers, the heightened state of a plant, the enlightened state of plant. The point of a plant is to flower.
Right.
So then that's another aspect. I love female energy, so I paint females, and what we talked about earlier, to why I went into that.
Yeah.
But I don't only paint females, and I don't only paint nudes.
No, that I know. That I know.
I get a lot of criticism from a lot of galleries and curators. Are like, I've heard my work is raunchy. I've heard, oh, I don't want to show any nudes in my gallery, or I don't want any nudes here, but there's kids here, blah, 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 blah. Lighten the fuck up. Like, we're all naked.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that they say that to you, but some of the most celebrated artists of all time,
you know,
are very gruesome.
Anybody, you know, modest. But everyone I paint, and I mean every woman that I paint, has requested to be painted nude. And I obliged because I respect that. I really do. I think that if someone can trust me with such an intimate and such a special amount of trust, I mean, shit, that's just fucking awesome. Like, I mean, that's like the highest honor to me, you know, like someone, you know, we maintain a, you know, professionalism and, you know, and they know I'm on, you know, anyway.
It's all right.
So,
I think my
can you hear me?
publicist is on
Can you
now,
hear me?
so yeah, I could hear you. But let's say it right now. My publicist on. Cal, I'm gonna kill you because you be calling in on my live feeds. What's wrong with you, man? He's like, oh no, he didn't. But I wanted to ask you something. I want you to go back a little. You're giving us a lot of great ideas about your art. Now you mentioned guns. Okay. Let's retrack why you put guns into your picture, because obviously there's a lot of mixed feelings when it comes to weapons. I obviously have my mixed feelings about that because, you know, I'm a civil rights activist, right?
Yeah.
My whole thing is no justice, no peace. You see me with Ben Crump a lot, but lately I've been public speaking where I say, you know, when it comes to rallies or anything, when it comes to justice, you cannot have peace when you're carrying a piece. And it's got a strong meaning to it. So when I see guns in your picture, I automatically thought something happened in your life that involved the gun. And I don't know if that's true. Well, are you about to show me your stomach?
No,
Are you showing me up, man? Are you trying to beef up? Do one of
No.
these things?
Marine Corps. I was a Marine.
Ah, all right. See, now I could see. You know what it is? Because your thing's backwards. But
Yeah.
it's all right. So Semper Fi, my brother. Semper Fi. Appreciate you for your services, by the way, now that we know that. So thank you for all the services that you have done with not only for our freedom, but for these masterpieces in art, because it's a beautiful sight on all our eyes. So I appreciate you for that. So get into that a little. Well, the question is,
What?
why is our guns a very powerful meaning to what? You hear me? Why you dodging my questions? Why you doing that?
I'm fucking with you.
I know you are. I know you are. I'm about to dive through the screen. I'm gonna break something off right now.
Yeah.
But
I'm a goofball.
yeah, I know.
Anyway.
So get into that a little. So guns are a very strong thing in your art. It shows up in almost everything. So what's the powerful message behind putting guns in your art?
Well, let's first, let's first think about, a gun. A blunderbuster is not gonna scare a whole lot of people, but an assault weapon used for killing people would. So art, a lot of the purpose of art is to make the viewer uncomfortable enough to engage and try to understand what the purpose that the artist is getting at. So for shock and awe value, I love guns because, again, they have, connotatively one way of looking at them, denotatively another way of looking at them. They stir up, semiotically, meaning, the symbolism that they represent, that has also another meaning. And then I'll show you. Let me see if I have a gun around here. I'll show you. I'm sure I have something around here. Anyway, I'll use my.
It's okay. I believe you.
I'll use my finger. All right. So this is a gun. Imagine this is a gun. Right? Semiotically speaking, in other words, the symbolism of a gun. If I hold it like this, it has one meaning. If I hold it like this, it has another meaning. If I hold it like this, it has a totally different meaning. And it's still a fucking gun. It's just a gun. But context and motive means something. So as she's holding it in the ready in the painting behind me, that has a totally different meaning than if she's pointing at you. She is in the ready, she's defensive, or she's waiting for, she's preparing. If she's pointing it at you, she's being aggressive. She's the aggressor. Just like a gaze.
Right.
If a model's looking away, you're the voyeur. You're watching them. Right? Okay.
Right.
They're engaging you. So as an artist, I pay attention to these things because it adds meaning to my work. Now, a lot of people see a piece and says, oh, it's a woman with a gun. Well, then you've missed out on the whole point of me painting the goddamn thing in the first place. And that is to challenge your way of thinking. Not saying that it's pro-gun or anti-gun. I want you to see what it is that I'm saying and make up your own mind. That's totally fine because art is very subjective. So,
yes, it is.
In terms of activism and guns, you know, a gun on over the fireplace looks harmless. A gun in your back of your Jeep or back of your window of your pickup truck looks a little bit more threatening. There's the potential there. And then what type of gun is it? A hunting rifle? Then you say, oh, that looks so. You know, now if it's a fully automatic assault weapon used and designed to put a maximum amount of fire downrange, sending maximum amount of lead or steel downrange, and its purpose is to maim, kill, defend, suppress the enemy, then we have a different conversation. And then
right, of course.
Right. Now, do I think, you didn't ask me this, but do I think people should own tanks or bazookas? I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I don't need a gun.
I don't even know how they would do it, especially here in New York. Like, how do you own a tank here in New York? I mean, I have a hard enough time, like, parking my bike. Like, I don't know what garage is going to hold my tank. And they'll probably charge me more money because I have a tank. That's some bull.
Yeah. But,
then, I mean,
there's people out that are certain level armors and stuff like that. They buy that stuff. They love military equipment. They love assault weapons. They like, you know, I don't personally own anything that's real. All my stuff, by the way, the stuff I own now is illegal in the state I live. They made it illegal. So now I need a gun permit.
Wait, what state are you living in now?
It's crazy.
What state are you living in? What state are you living in?
New Jersey.
All right.
Yeah.
So they made it illegal to own a toy.
Right. So getting back to the art of it, I think a gun is just as dangerous as it can be just as dangerous as drugs. It could be just as dangerous as driving a car recklessly. We can get into like regulation and all that other stuff all we want, but mine are paintings of guns. They're not actual guns. They're paintings.
Right. Right.
They're symbolic.
Yeah, it's art.
I mean? Like it's not real.
Yeah, and people forget that art is pretty much the expression of life, and what is inside the artist's head that they bring out onto, whether it's a canvas or, you know, a brick wall. It's art, and it's there to be admired. And I like what you said. It makes people think. I always looked at an artist as an enigma, and it's your job to figure out the puzzle on what the meaning is behind their artwork, which is really cool to me. I love going to museums and not knowing half the artists there and just looking at what they do. I don't know if you ever heard Alvin Clayton, who I've had on the show. Alvin, amazing man, just like you, gentleman, the whole nine. I love him to death. Love you too. You're a good dude. But Alvin has his own way of drawing. He's got this old school style, little jazzy style to it. Really, really cool. But it makes you think the artwork, and you're always curious about how he came out with this. And a lot of his artwork is based on his childhood and his family and, what he's gone through, and that's why I'm asking you these questions because, maybe a lot of people haven't really taken it. And, people, what I'm trying to say is people are very quick to judge and they're very quick to be negative, right? It seems for some reason it's hard for somebody to just be positive or just ask a simple question. Like, hey, Albertus, I'm not a huge gun fan, but what's the meaning behind the guns in your painting? And now I understand. It doesn't make me like you or less you any better or different, but it makes me understand you more as an artist. And I think people need to wake up sometimes and just take a moment and look, analyze, maybe ask a question.
My work's not for everybody. I'm not a huge fan of Andy Warhol,
right.
But some people love him. Some people absolutely adore him. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of artists in terms of what they actually produced, And that's okay. Again, it's subjective. Like we should be allowed to have our own taste. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. I really am. I really don't mind being misunderstood. Maybe you like landscapes. I paint very few landscapes. Maybe you like abstracts. I paint very few abstracts. And this is the kicker. No, I know the number one selling piece of art, right? In terms of paintings. I know it's landscapes. Right. And I know number two is abstracts. And I know number three is portraiture. I don't do any of those. No. Like I don't paint like portraits of people. I don't care what you look like, when I'm painting, I just let it happen. If it looks like you, that's great. If it doesn't, that's why I hate commissions. Because someone's going to commission you, they want the fucking thing to look like them. You know what I mean? Or look like their grandma. Things pay the bills and yada yada yada. But I don't even post that stuff because that's just my ability to make something. It's not necessarily my full artistic expression in painting someone's grandma. Which is cool. Some people like that shit. I'm not one of them,
But you know how easy it is to paint a grandma? You don't have to keep saying to her. But you know how easy it would be for you to paint somebody's grandma? Because, no, but think about it. There's one thing you'll never have to tell a grandma who's sitting for a painting. You don't have to keep going to her like, hey, could you sit still? She's just going to be like, I can't even get up. What do you think?
47, that might be something.
So, listen, I've seen a lot of your work around New York City. What was one of your favorite murals that you did on a wall of New York City? Because you have a bunch of them.
Just recently, I did Superman. He's a Native American indigenous celebrity. He's an amazing artist himself, writer, does what you do, activist. He's a rapper. That's probably my favorite mural.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to do?
Honored to paint him. because
how
he's
long,
alive. I could talk to him,
yeah.
you know.
Well, let me ask you, how long does it take you to do a mural like that? Like weeks, months?
It depends upon how much you put into it, you know, like it really, I mean, I could knock it out in 24 hours, or you know, I could take 2 hours here, 3 hours there, 4 hours there. If I have it pre-planned, when I paint with my boy Will Power, he usually pre-plans everything, so it goes a lot quicker.
Right.
Because he's a bulldog and he just like such an asshole. But I mean, I love him to death. You know?
All right, I'll mute that out
But you
later.
know, the thing I like about Will is the dude is immensely talented, you know, and I think I'm gonna assume the thing he likes about me. Well, when we talk, we like to pat each other on the back once in a while, but it's that I fully trust him as an artist. You know, I know that if he's gonna do something, you know, he's gonna do it to the best of his ability. He's not gonna shortchange it. You know, even though I think I shortchanged some stuff here and there, especially freebies. It's you know, so time consuming. It takes so much energy to do a mural.
Oh, I know. I believe it. I mean, I've seen the work that you put into it.
% honest, I'd rather stick it in the studio. You know,
I'd rather do
my head instead of. So, like street art, it's like for the masses. It's like commercial art, you know, on a wall. It's like a billboard, or it's like Andy Warhol type shit. You know, it's like easy read. You know, like there's a lot of artists like in other. You know, there's even artists here. Some artists really get into it, but it's kind of hard to get into something when it's free. You know, like if they're paying you, you know, getting paid for your time, then of course, you know, you could go full Monty, and that's like the case scenario. But a lot of times, it's just fun to get out there and you know, paint for the neighborhood, or paint for the, you know, for the store owner, or, you know, to give you a wall and you're like, hey, you know, do what you want. Like my favorite mural so far was done with the help of Mirrors 1, which is a good friend of mine, and he's a fantastic artist and an awesome human being, you know. And if he asked me, you know, to paint a 30-story building, I'd do it because I know he's a good dude, you know. There's some people I don't mind, you know, and he also understands that my process takes longer when I put, you know, when some things I put a lot of time into, you know.
Right.
So there is no real, to answer your question.
I love the details that you've given us.
It really depends on the situation, whether that part, you know, whether it's a paid gig or not a paid gig. It shouldn't matter, but it fucking does.
I 100% agree with you. And we have a lady here now, Kim Roper, get out of my lane. She's actually interested in possibly hiring you. So we're actually almost out of time. So what I want to say is, guys, if you want to connect with Albertus, you can follow him on Instagram. It's Albertus Joseph, and that's it. So ALBERTUS Joseph. And you can find him there, message him. He's definitely worth the penny, the money, the whole nine. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, definitely go to his IG. He just did a great interview with Ryan Reynolds. Amazing, funny interview. And that just tells you right there the respect he has in this industry when a guy like him calls him up out of the blue and wants him to interview him on his new show. And you can catch that show on Albertus' page and also on Ryan Reynolds' Snapchat. Ryan doesn't know. This interview here will be available on my IG probably in about 5 minutes after we're done. Albertus, there's so much that we can talk about. It's just so much. but unfortunately, because I am in a studio now, I deal with people all the time where they always give me the red light, you know.
Yeah.
But Albertus, listen, man, we're gonna definitely have you back on because when COVID starts coming up, I want to see more work around New York City, especially of yours. Obviously, you know, with the Elsa Global, peace concert that I put together every year here in Times Square. I'm going to talk to you about that because I would love to get something like that in Times Square, which I think we can definitely work out. And we'll definitely chop it up. And guys, definitely follow Albertus, but also follow me. Follow me every night, Todd Wharton Official, WHARTON Official. I interview celebrities of all industries 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. PST time. Later on this week, just to give you, tomorrow night. Are you waving? Tomorrow night, I have a great guest. Michael Winslow from the movie Spaceballs Police Academy is going to be in the house tomorrow night. Wednesday, I got Willie Taylor from the R&B group Day 26 from P. Diddy's Making the Band. Thursday, I got Rima Webb, who's a Broadway star. And then Friday, we got to round it out because, it's Women's History Month, Women's Month. You know what I'm saying? We got DJ Redbottom, international female DJ, is going to be here Friday night. So we got a great lineup coming on. And, of course, I got to promote this again. In April, I got coming to America's John Amos will be back in the house with a special surprise guest. You don't want to miss this because it's going to be crazy. But Albertus, again, man, I love you, bro. I love your art. I love your energy. I love everything about you. And if people can aspire to be like you in the form of the way you do your art, but the way they view life, just take it as a joke. Don't be so serious. I think we'll get along a lot better. I really, really do. So I want to thank you for being on FaceTime with Todd Wharton tonight, brother. I really appreciate you. And yeah, definitely. And guys out there, like I always say, please wear a mask. Whether you believe in it or not, believe in your family, believe in your friends. Let's protect each other. Let's stand together. Always practice social distancing. And like I always said at the end of my show, if you're not living a passionate life, then whose life are you living? Guys, have a great night. Albertus, I'll see you soon.
All right, bro. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.